Welcome back to Savannah's Kitchen. Today we're going to be making 3 easy and delicious recipes for your next tailgate. I'm going to be starting with the hardest recipe and then working my way down to the easiest, but they're all easy. Do not worry, they're all pretty easy. For our first recipe, we're going to be making pretzel bites with a beer cheese dipping sauce. I mean, what a classic. Pretty easy dough ingredients. So I'm going to be using my stand mixer to mix this all together, but you can use a normal bowl. No shame at all. So I'm going to start by putting the water on the kettle, and then we're going to pull out the stand mixer and get this going. I wish I could have Real Housewives on the background while I film this, but I can't. But imagine. I'm gonna grab out our stand mixer. Oh, I knocked off the soap. Okay, not so bad. I'm gonna be using the dough hook attachment for our stand mixer. Beautiful. Oh, I love the way yeast looks. For our yeast, we're gonna be using 1 1/8 teaspoon. Just gonna bonk it a little bit to shake it off. The next thing I'm gonna throw in the bowl is 1/2 tablespoon of sugar. I'm using granulated white. You can also use a brown sugar if you want. Nice. Okay, I have our lukewarm water. We're gonna pour in about 3/4 of a cup. Oh gosh. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and lock this in, okay, and just whisk it together until it's all combined. It smells yeasty. Now that the yeast, sugar, and water have been combined, I'm just gonna go ahead and cover this for like 5 to 10 minutes with a cloth before we add in the rest of our ingredients. I have a Christmas towel. Now we will let that sleep for 5 minutes and then check back in on it. While our yeast mixture is sitting, I'm gonna go ahead and melt down 1/2 tablespoon of butter. This is just the butter I found at the grocery store and I thought it looked cool. It's always hard like measure these blocks. At least the Kerrygold ones have a little bit of a marker on it. Grab a knife, like a little slice on the end. That should be good. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and check on our yeast. It is perfect. You wanna see some bubbles at the top? To this mixture, I'm gonna go ahead and add in our butter and flour. I'm gonna start with the butter. Boop, boop, boop. Just gonna use my little Baby Yoda pumpkin scraper and throw the butter into the mixture. Now that we've our butter in, I'm gonna go ahead and add our flour. I'm gonna start with about 1 3/4 cup, 1.5 cup. Let me grab my cup. Where did I put it? What the heck? Oh, right here. Start with a cup and then just like loosely 1/2 cup. Perfect. I'm also just gonna add like a sprinkle of salt, not too much because my butter is salted, and we're gonna top these with salt. All right, we're just gonna start mixing our mixture. I'm gonna be scraping down the sides as needed with a spatula. It is still pretty sticky and there's a lot of flour on the sides here. A little goes a long way with flour. You don't want your dough to be chewy, so I'm just gonna do like a little tiny bit in there. We're gonna let this go for 5 minutes. It's looking dough-esque, one could say. Now, once again, we're gonna let our mixture rest. We are gonna let this sit for about 20 minutes. While this is resting, I'm gonna go ahead and start a baking soda and water mixture on the stove. We have a good amount of water in our pot. Now we're gonna add in the baking soda. We're gonna be adding a lot of baking soda to this, to our baking soda bath. I'm gonna do a little bit over 1/4 cup. 1/3 cup is perfect. I'm gonna give this a little mix and then we're gonna throw it onto the stove and bring it to a boil. It's been about 20 minutes. Our dough is looking awesome and we have our baking soda bath boiling. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut these into our little shape. Here we go. I'm gonna flour up our cutting board. I'm about to get messy, I fear. I'm gonna dump our dough out. Oh yes, nice. Onto our cutting board. Ooh, tiny bit sticky, not crazy though. Roll this out into like a log. A long log. Nice. Doesn't look the most symmetrical, but that's okay. There are the logs. That log looks so much better than the other logs. Shoot. I also preheat the oven to 400 degrees. Now I'm just gonna start cutting these into, I'm gonna cut off the little tips, and we're just gonna cut these into like 1 inch size. Like that, that looks good. Little pretzel bites. This is very satisfying with my dough cutter scraper toy. I'm gonna go ahead and just spray a baking sheet so it's ready to go when we put these guys into their little bath. We're gonna move this over to the stove cam and we're gonna boil these. Come on, slotted spoon is necessary for this step. I'm just gonna start dropping these into our baking soda mixture that is boiling on the stove. Let them go for about 10 seconds, pull them out, give them a little shake, throw them onto our baking sheet. You already know, pulling out the Osmo. I'm like obsessed with this salt. I have it now and I have a lot of it, so I'm gonna use it, but I've used it in the past 2 recipes. Anyway, I'm now gonna sprinkle each of these with some salt. They look a little wonky, guys, okay? I'm not perfect. I'm just a girl who cooks for the camera. I'm gonna throw these into the oven and then we'll start our cheese sauce. cheese sauce time. Here's what I'm gonna be using for my beer cheese. This seems like a lot, but it's actually going to be really easy. I'm gonna start by shredding up my cheeses. I have a sharp medium cheddar. Fuck, I thought I got sharp. A Gruyere. Oh, I also have a smoked cheddar. We're just gonna start off with our medium cheddar cheese. My favorite shredder is out of commission. So we'll start with this, and we're just gonna go, we all know this is my favorite part of cooking. Cheese is shredded. Here you go. For our cheese dipping sauce, or dip, whatever, I'm gonna start with some butter. I'm eyeballing it. I'm doing around 2 tablespoons. A little chunk like that. Our butter is almost melted down, so I'm gonna do just like a little bit under a 1/4 cup of flour into our melted butter. We're gonna whisk. Turning the heat down, I'm gonna add in our spices. I'm using garlic powder and paprika. Then I whisked in my milk, cheese, and beer, and our cheese sauce was done. Look at that. I'll live very much once it. This is what we're looking at. This looks so good. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay, for our second recipe, we're gonna be making jalapeno poppers. These also like take no time, which is very nice. You can just throw them in the oven and take them out when people get here. These are super easy. The hardest part is just coring the jalapenos, which can be painful. If you have gloves, gloves is like perfect for this scenario. I don't think I have any gloves, so I'm going to suffer, but that is okay. Clap if she should suffer. I'm doing an addition with no bacon. I'm gonna start coring these, but I'm gonna preheat our oven to 400 degrees first, so they're ready. It's ready to go in when they're ready. Cutting these down the middle lengthwise, like so. You can leave the little stemmy part on if you want, and then kind of just slice out the the filling, the innards. I've created a little boat here. We're gonna do that with all of them. I have 4 jalapenos that I'm thinking about doing right now, which will make 8 poppers. If you're cooking this for a larger group, obviously make more, but I don't wanna waste any food around here, and I don't know if 10 jalapeno poppers will be consumed in ample amount of time. 2 down. I have cored out the jalapenos. I left the little stem on the top because I think that looks cute. Like it gives more of the vibe. It's giving the pepper emoji. That was actually not very hard. Once you get a good scoop under the guts. Anyway, I'm gonna move on to our filling, which is pretty simple. I'm gonna chop up some green onions, some cream cheese, some seasonings, and some cheddar cheese. Let's do it. I'm gonna start with green onions. I'm gonna start with 1. We're gonna wash this off. There are men working at my house and they were watching me through the window, and it's making me nervous. There's leaf blowing occurring currently. Make sure to wash your green onions because they're a lot like leeks and the dirt will just hide in their layers. Cutting off just the tops and bottoms, and then we're just gonna roughly chop this as thin as you want. No pressure. Olive's walking right in front. That looks nice. Into our bowl. Hi. Oh, you are sleepy. I love you. Next into our bowl, I'm gonna add some cream cheese. This is softened. Proud of myself for pulling this out of the fridge with enough time for it to soften. Each little chunk is 1 ounce. I'm gonna use maybe 5 ounces. Oh my God. Into the bowl, I'm throwing 5 ounces of cream cheese. Next, I'm gonna grab my shredder, my cheese grater. Probably going for about 1/2 cup of cheese here. Oh, all right, that's a good amount of cheese. Looks like a little bit more than 1/2 cup. Who's counting? I probably should be, but it's okay. We're just gonna go ahead and give this a mix. Our seasonings, very simple array, starting with some Lowry seasoning salt. My favorite, not using too much because it's already a little salty from the cheese, but just a little bit for some flavor. Black pepper, I've been having issues with this. I don't want to break my nail. I'm measuring with my heart. Onion powder. When in doubt, a teaspoon of each will do, except for the salt and pepper. But okay, that's enough. Whew. Mixing up our concoction. I'm gonna make these a little bougie and we're gonna pipe it in. Going to take our plastic bag and just fold it over, or stick it in. Stick it into the cup, just one little edge though. And then we're gonna fold it over and put our mixture into the cup. Perfect. Going to grab out a baking sheet and set up our jalapenos on there. I cannot find my scissors. I don't know where they are, and that is going to bother me, but I guess I will just slice this with a knife. Just cut the tip. Perfect. I'm literally just going to pipe this into the center of our jalapeno popper. That looks very nice. It's now time to throw them into the oven, 400 degrees for about 25 minutes. Here are finished jalapeno poppers. They're a little flat, don't be alarmed. These look fire though. I guess I will taste one on camera for you. So yummy, spicy, cheesy. Fire, a jalapeno popper is gonna hit the spot every single time. Delicious. Make these. For our last recipe, we only need 4 ingredients. This is so easy. I honestly don't even know if this should count as a recipe because it is so easy, but these are so fire. You can call it whatever you want. I've heard them be called like crackers. I call them ranch and saltines because they used to sell these at Buc-ee's and they don't anymore, so I had to make them myself. What we're gonna be using is saltines, ranch dressing powder. I'm using avocado oil, but you can use canola oil or butter, and then some crushed red pepper flakes just for a little bit of heat. Can't stress you enough how delicious these are and how easy these are. We're just gonna start by tossing our saltines into the bowl. You can use different things for this as well. Ritz crackers or the little Ritz cheese crackers are also very good. My mom used to make those. Saltines in the bowl. I'm gonna measure this with my heart. I would say use about a 1/4 cup and go from there. I would not use olive oil for this, so gang, please don't use olive oil. So many people watching me, guys. It's hella awkward. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and toss the saltines in the oil so they're coated. Our crackers have been sufficiently coated. Now it's time to sprinkle on our ranch seasoning. You can get the little packets. If you get the little packet, I would use the whole packet. We're just gonna shake a liberal amount onto our crackers. Shoot, maybe a little too much. And mix fast, because this stuff low-key starts to congeal pretty quickly, and you wanna make sure your guys are getting covered. Shoot. The last thing that we are going to add, red pepper flakes, as many as, how much as, geez, I don't want to go too crazy, but it's definitely good to give it a little bit of a kick for fun. There is literally a man right next to me. Mama, a girl behind you. I've got these pretty coated. Let's get a baking sheet because I'm yapping. I'm now going to spray down our baking sheet with some avocado oil. And then you add your crackers. This is kind of like a 1-by-1 situation. Okay, we're done with our crackers. They look delicious, they smell delicious. We're gonna throw these in the oven at 275 degrees for 20 minutes, pull them out. They'll have absorbed all that flavor we added. These are like the best, guys. This low-key still a little hot. Crackers are done. They look so good. Let's put them in a bowl. I really want to try one. I'm just gonna try one, okay? They're literally addicting. Everyone will eat these up. Like, they're so good. Also, if you make like a dip, like a French onion dip, which I have a sort of making French onion dip. Oh my God, these would go crazy. Yum, yum, yum. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you can make one of these recipes for your next tailgate or just like for fun, because these crackers are so good. I think you should make them. Also, the pretzels and dip are so fire. And the jalapeno poppers. Literally everything in this video is so good. Not to toot my own horn, but thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. We'll do something fall related. It'll be fun. Anyway, bye.